Okay, when you think of graphic design, what comes to mind? A logo, a website, maybe a poster? The truth is, there are way more niches out there than most people realize. This video is for anyone who wants to become a graphic designer but isn't quite sure what to focus on, especially if you're self-taught and don't have someone to guide you. Or maybe you're already a designer and just want to explore new directions or find a niche that feels more like you. I'll walk you through 15 different types of graphic design you might not have thought about. And as a bonus, I'll share a few that are likely to be replaced by AI. Of course, we need to take into account that, so you know what to avoid. And let's dive in. And the first niche is pretty obvious, but we're gonna start with the basics, right? Is branding. And this is not only a logo, as some people might think. This includes the whole vibe of a brand. Logos, colors, fonts, photography style, tone of voice, even music can be a part of a brand. I'm not saying that designers are making music, not quite what I mean. If you like setting the tone and making things feel a certain way, branding might be your thing. Plus, it's very lucrative. When we speak of branding, it doesn't mean only physical products or services. It can be even one person who needs a brand, who needs to position themselves as a personal brand. Everyone is doing that right now. It can be a particular event that happens once a year or just once. It also needs branding. Temporary things also need that. So there are a lot more opportunities there. You can just choose the industry that's appealing personally to you and be a brand designer. This also includes creative direction, the strategy, lots of different things. Even designing social media templates can be included in that. Just the main thing, it's attached to a certain brand. It's not just any social media that you want to design for no one. And speaking of branding, one thing that I've personally been wanting to get better at is logo design. It's honestly not my strongest skill. I've always been more into posters and layouts, typography, editorial, and image editing. But lately, I've been wanting to brush up and improve in that area because I want to include more branding projects in my portfolio. So I've been checking out a class on Skillshare called Logo Design Workflow, Creating Timeless and Modern Logos. It's taught by a professional logo designer who walks you through their entire process, from concept sketches all the way to the final polished logo. And what I really liked is that it's not just about making something look cool, it's a bit deeper than that. It's about creating logos that actually last and work in real-world branding. If you also want to improve your logo design skills or just explore new areas of graphic design, I can definitely recommend Skillshare as a great resource for that. They have thousands of classes on design, creativity, freelancing, and more. And if you didn't know, I have my own class on Skillshare as well. If you want to learn how to design music posters like these, then welcome to my class as well. If you're interested, the first 500 people to use my link in the description will get 20% off their first year of Skillshare. Sounds like a bargain, doesn't it? You can also scan this QR code on screen to check it out and get started today. There's a 7-day free trial and 30-day money-back guarantee. And the second niche is merch design. And you've been probably living under a rock over the last few years if you haven't noticed how many brands are starting their own merch right now and how many print-on-demand t-shirts people are selling today. Well, I know that's extremely competitive, but it's competitive mostly because of how easy to do it today, to set up a business like this. So the only competitive advantage these print-on-demand brands have is design. It's the most essential. It's not just putting a basic clip-art picture on your t-shirt and selling it. No one's gonna buy it anymore. But for something a bit more advanced and professional, made by a designer, maybe in their own style, that's still in high demand, and it's actually not that easy to find a good designer for this. So yeah, there's a lot of work for designers in this niche. And again, like in branding, you can choose an industry for which you want to create merch, and the type of products is not necessarily t-shirts or streetwear. It can be any other home goods, accessories, whatever you're most interested in. It can be, like I said, tote bags, which are also really popular, and not necessarily print-on-demand brands or just any merch brand. It can be merch that is created or an existing brand. Like pretty much any music artist has its own merch, although it's not the main product that they are creating. The main product is music. Or an influencer has a merch. It's a pretty common practice. So yeah, I think there is a lot of opportunities here for us designers. So we just need to choose what kind of clients we would like and just go for it. The third niche is web design. Again, one of the staples, what people usually think of when they imagine what graphic designers do. Probably websites, right? Yeah, it's a really promising career path, to be honest, because let's be real, it's a little bit more difficult and complex than just designing a business card or an invitation for something, because you need to learn the platform or maybe even coding. But nowadays, I think you know that there's a lot of website builders that don't require coding, but still you need to learn those platforms, how they work and all of that. But to be honest, when you work with templates, just with website builders, is not that complicated. Like you can learn it in a week, maybe, or a few days, just on a basic level, and start designing websites. It's not that complicated, so why not to try it? And here in the same niche, I would also include mobile apps, which are also really high in demand today. Can be a little bit more complex when you position yourself as a UX UI designer, because you need to take into account the analytics, user experience, like the user journey of how exactly they're going to use this product. And yeah, that requires a little bit more learning, but it's very rewarding and high paying. So it's a pretty decent career path, I guess. The fourth niche is wayfinding. Before I went to uni, I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know what this word wayfinding means. I've never heard of it before. Basically, it's just signage design, when you develop navigating systems for public spaces that help people not get lost in airports, museums, festivals, and things of that nature. It's very functional, but also it's way more creative than you might think. Probably depends on the venue, on the event, or the location that you're working with. This is something people don't necessarily think about when they hear words graphic design. So I'm guessing it may not be as competitive as logo design, for example. The fifth niche is editorial design. Designing books, including book covers, magazines, and anything for print. Working in publishing. Well, not anything for print, probably books and magazines primarily. Yeah, you may say that print design today is not alive anymore, and we shouldn't even consider that, but books are still being printed, publishing houses exist, and bookshops exist as well. So it's just a matter of choosing the right niche of what kind of books are still lucrative and high in demand, and people are still prefer buying them in physical format rather than electronic. I haven't done proper research on that, but I would assume that's something that you want to buy as a gift, and you want to experience that texture of that book, the packaging, the quality of the paper. That's something that can't be replaced with ebook. And also books that are heavily reliant on imagery or photography, whether that be photography or illustration, especially colorful illustration. Ebooks just don't have colors in them, so it's definitely not the same. All the design books, I would rather read them in physical format. But yeah, that's just one example. I'm sure there are a lot more books that it doesn't make sense to replace them with electronic formats. Yeah, it's more like a niche industry, but if you're really into layouts, typography, mixing images with text, this might be for you. And the sixth niche is packaging. Designing the look of actual products like snack wrappers, perfume boxes, or coffee bags, or just anything that needs packaging. It's all about catching the eye and feeling on brand. Yeah, I would say it's also a really promising niche to pursue. There are types of products that are more lucrative than the others, but of course you need to consider what you personally like. I know that designing alcohol packages is really well paid, so if you're into alcohol, designing, I don't know, wine bottles, I mean the labels on them, it's one of the best money-wise. I mean, who wouldn't want that? The 7th niche is typeface design. Yeah, some people literally design fonts from scratch. It's super niche and detail heavy, but if you're a type nerd, it's a whole world to dive into. Luckily, maximalism is on trend and we're not sticking to only Helvetica anymore. People need more typefaces, especially for their big and loud titles, headings. You need something decorative, something innovative and eye-catching. So I think there's always a demand for that, but it's not that easy and it requires some learning as well. You can't really do it overnight and you can't learn it overnight. But with enough practice and dedication, everything's possible. The 8th niche is presentation design, which is something most people don't really think of as a separate niche, but I must say there is so much work for that. So many people need presentations today because everything is online and you present your ideas online, you're selling stuff online. You need presentations for everything and it's a very, very time consuming to do it yourself. So people are willing to outsource this to a designer. So it's about designing slide decks, but make them look really good. It's great if you're into clean layouts, storytelling, or helping people not fall asleep during presentations. The 9th niche is poster design, especially for music, events, art shows, activism. This is one of the most fun and creative areas, especially if you like bold and experimental stuff. Posters are like the sweet spot between art and design, especially if you're making posters for creative industries, like for a theatre show or a music event. It can give you a lot of creative freedom. It still might be a niche thing and not that easy to find the right clients for that, but if you're really good at it, you will have some work. I mean, there is a demand. It's just a matter of finding that client or making sure that the client can find you, which is why social media should connect you to, and everyone will be happy, hopefully. That's an ideal scenario. The 10th niche is album and cover art. Designing visuals for music releases, playlists, singles, vinyl covers, or anything like that. If you love music and capturing a vibe, this is such a cool niche, but there are nuances as well. It's even more niche than just in general poster design for events, because if you know people from that industry, if you're constantly networking, if you're familiar with your local music scene, that can massively help, because if no one knows you, doesn't matter how good your work is, it may not be that helpful. Like, you need to push yourself more into that world of music artists, and it may not be the most lucrative, to be honest, but if you're really passionate about it, it's so rewarding to see your design as an album cover. I mean, that feeling is just, I can't even express how satisfying it is. The 11th niche is motion design, taking your graphics and making them move for videos, ads, reels, all of it. If you like animation and storytelling, this opens up so many creative options for you, especially today when video format is a lot more engaging and entertaining rather than the static image. It's kind of required everywhere, be able to animate stuff. And it's not that competitive because, again, it requires a bit more learning. You need to spend some time, learn the software, but it's worth it when you see that you can do something that most designers can't. That's an amazing feeling. The 12th niche is social media design, which means designing stuff for Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Threads, I don't know, you name it, promo graphics. It's fast, fun, and perfect if you like staying on top of trends. Designing carousels are really in high demand right now. And also this includes thumbnail design. This can be a separate niche within this niche. There are designers who position themselves as thumbnail designers, which is so important for YouTubers to get their thumbnail right. They even hire people because just templates from Canva is not enough. It should be something unique, something special to grab attention, because that's the most important thing for getting views, a thumbnail. Thumbnail not only for YouTube videos, also for podcasts. It can be thumbnail for reels, just to make the whole brand looking cohesive. And I don't know what other platforms need thumbnails. There are probably more than only YouTube. The 13th niche is advertising design, which sounds really broad, but what I mean is banners, billboards, digital ads, print campaigns, making bold, scroll-stopping visuals for ads, online or offline. It's all about getting people to notice and take action fast. Now, obviously, online ads are more prevalent today than offline, and so many people are focusing on ad creatives for Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, like anywhere where you can see ads online. Just know that people who run it, they care so much on the click-through rate, and most important thing is the ad creative, which is the design of this ad. The 14th niche is an ebook and digital product design. Think downloadable guides, planners, PDFs, either for yourself or other creators. If you're into layout or you want to sell your own stuff, digital products, this is a great niche. This is probably for people who like editorial design, but they're scared of it becoming obsolete and they want to make sure their career is a little bit more relevant today. This is a great niche because a lot of skills are the same. Well, it requires a little bit different skills though, because you need to adapt to the new format. Ebook is not exactly the same as regular printed book, but there is a lot of overlapping and editorial skills that you still need. And the 15th niche is wallpaper design, or you can also call it surface pattern design. It could be as simple as wallpapers for phones or patterns for actual walls and fabrics. If you love creating pretty and repeatable designs, especially with a lot of details, this one is super aesthetic and fun to play with. And as a bonus, I promised you to tell you about the niches that are going to be replaced by AI, probably, or at least they're becoming less valuable if you're doing them in a basic way. And first up, print design. What I mean is things like flyers, brochures, business cards. If it's just basic layouts with stock images and standard fonts, AI or tools like Canva or Adobe Express can already do that in seconds because there's a lot of templates for that. So unless you're doing something high-level creative print work, this niche is slowly fading. There's not much need for business cards anyway. People are just exchanging their Instagram or LinkedIn or just a website, I don't know, anything online pretty much. So it's more like a niche thing which is perceived more as a souvenir. So it has to be like really outstanding and creative just to be more memorable, like for brand image. The next one is social media design, but I'm talking only about basic templates. You know, those quote graphics or promo posts that look very generic? Yeah, AI can make those automatically in seconds. If you're doing custom branded and animated content, that's still super valuable, but the generic stuff, not so much. And if we're talking about like Facebook ads or Instagram ads, there is still a high demand because you can't just use basic graphics. It wouldn't work anyway. And brand owners and people who need that, they will understand it straight away how important it is to take a more creative approach. So they will probably need a graphic designer anyway, or just a person who knows how it works, how to actually grab people's attention. And yeah, AI is not enough for that. And the third is wallpaper design, especially simple patterns. If you think about seamless patterns, it's just generating an image of a cat or a flower and just repeating it multiple times. After watching 1 minute tutorial how to do it in Illustrator, yeah, then this niche is probably obsolete already, because you can find thousands of patterns like that on stock websites, on Etsy. Like, so many people do that and so many people have already done that. If you want to design wallpapers for living, it needs to be like something a lot more complicated and something that has its own unique style that can't be replicated easily. Obviously, you can imitate anything today with AI, but there are styles that are harder to imitate. Like, it takes time to explain to your AI platform what exactly you mean. And those kind of styles are still in high demand, so I wouldn't discourage you from this niche. And also ChatGPT says that presentation design is becoming less valuable because of AI platforms and again a lot of templates that exist today. But I would say that a person who makes presentations will still be very much needed. But what I think is going to happen is you will have to use the AI and do it in collaboration. Like the AI will do the layout and the basic template, and there will still be a need for a human being to organize all these files. Like, for example, there is a platform that creates presentations. Yeah, automatically it designs a nice layout, let's say. But if you're planning a presentation for 100 slides and you have tons of imagery, or you don't even have the imagery, you need to find it, collect it from some specific place, maybe it's your own imagery that you need to sort it out, and AI wouldn't do that. You still need to take time to upload it there, to curate how AI works, and that's why we need another person to do that. It's very long and tedious process, and most people would be happy to delegate that to a designer. Maybe it wouldn't be that creative work as it used to be, but presentation as a format is still very much in demand, at least from what I see. And now, just to balance it out, here are 3 niches that are definitely here to stay. First of all, it's branding, because no AI can fully understand a brand's story, target audience and vibe like a real designer can. Secondly, packaging. It's physical, it's creative, and it has to stand out on real shelves. AI can't test how something feels in your own hand. And the third is motion design. Animation takes timing, taste, and storytelling, and AI still has a long way to go to match human creativity here. So these are kinds of niches that need your personal touch and creative brain, so they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Alright, that's it for today. I hope this helped you get a better idea of what's out there in the world of graphic design. Let me know in the comments which niche you're most excited about, or if there's one I missed that you think is super underrated. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!